Hello everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into the fascinating world of cell, the unit of life for NEET Biology, Class 11. Today, we are exploring a critical component of many cells, flagella. These tiny, whip-like structures are essential for movement, playing roles from bacterial navigation to human reproduction. We'll start with the basics, then gradually unravel their intricate mechanisms, comparing different types, and finally, look at their profound implications in biology and medicine. Let's begin this exciting journey. Let's kick things off with the basics. What exactly are flagella, and why are they so important for cells? It's simpler than you might think. Imagine a tiny tail on a cell. That's essentially what a flagellum is. These are long, slender, whip-like structures that project from the cell surface. Their primary job? To help the cell move. Think of them as a cell's personal propeller or an oar, allowing it to navigate its watery environment. They are crucial for what we call cell motility. So, where do we find these amazing structures? Flagella are quite widespread in the biological world. Many bacteria rely on them to swim towards food or away from danger. Some single-celled organisms, known as protists, like the Euglena, also use flagella for propulsion. And perhaps the most familiar example in humans is the tail of a sperm cell, which is a flagellum, enabling it to swim and reach the egg. They work by moving in a whip-like or rotating motion, pushing the cell forward. Time to test your understanding of the basics. Here are 3 quick questions. Take a moment to think about them. Question 1. What is the primary function of flagella in cells? Question 2. Name 2 types of organisms where flagella can be found. And question 3. Describe the general appearance of a flagellum. Good luck! Now that we have a good grasp of what flagella are, let's dive a bit deeper. We'll explore how flagella in different types of organisms, specifically prokaryotes and eukaryotes, are actually quite distinct. It's important to understand that not all flagella are created equal. Flagella found in simpler cells, like bacteria, which are prokaryotes, are fundamentally different from those in more complex cells, like human sperm, which are eukaryotes. Prokaryotic flagella are simpler, made of a single protein, and rotate like a propeller. Eukaryotic flagella, on the other hand, are much more complex, built from many proteins, covered by the cell membrane, and move with a characteristic wave-like motion. Let's look at the structure of a bacterial, or prokaryotic, flagellum. It has 3 main parts: the long, thread-like filament made of a protein called flagellin, a curved hook that connects the filament to the cell, and the basal body. The basal body is embedded in the cell wall and membrane, acting like a tiny motor. This motor uses a special kind of energy, a proton motive force, to spin the flagellum, much like a boat's propeller, pushing the bacterium forward. Eukaryotic flagella, found in organisms like protists and human sperm, are significantly more complex. Their internal core, called the axoneme, has a very specific and highly organized arrangement of microtubules, known as the 9+2 pattern. This means 9 pairs of microtubules form a ring around 2 central, single microtubules. The entire structure is enclosed by the cell's plasma membrane. At the very base of this flagellum, inside the cell, is a basal body, which has a 9+0 arrangement, similar to a centriole. This intricate setup allows for a sophisticated wave-like or bending motion, powered by ATP. Alright, let's check your grasp of the medium-level concepts. Here are 5 questions for you. Question 1. How do prokaryotic and eukaryotic flagella differ in their primary energy source for movement? Question 2. What is the 9+2 arrangement characteristic of? Question 3. Name the 3 main parts of a bacterial flagellum. Question 4. What is the basal body of a eukaryotic flagellum structurally similar to? And question 5. Describe the general motion of a eukaryotic flagellum. Take your time to answer. Ready to go deeper? In this section, we'll dissect the flagellum's molecular architecture and explore the fascinating mechanisms behind its movement, especially focusing on the eukaryotic type. The eukaryotic flagellum's axoneme is a marvel of cellular engineering. Beyond the 9+2 microtubule arrangement, there are critical accessory proteins. Dynein arms, which are motor proteins, project from the outer microtubule doublets. These arms are crucial because they hydrolyze ATP to generate the force needed for movement. Radial spokes connect the peripheral doublets to a central sheath, providing structural integrity. And Nexen linkages act as elastic bridges between adjacent doublets, ensuring that the sliding motion caused by dynein is converted into a precise bending, not just free sliding. The movement of eukaryotic flagella is best explained by the sliding microtubule model. Dynein arms, powered by ATP, try to walk along the B-tubule of the adjacent microtubule doublet. However, because of the cross-linking proteins like Nexen and the radial spokes, the doublets cannot slide past each other freely. Instead, this constrained sliding force causes the entire axoneme to bend. This coordinated bending, propagating along the flagellum, creates the characteristic wave-like motion that propels the cell through its environment. It's a beautifully orchestrated molecular dance. Now, let's revisit prokaryotic flagella with more detail. The basal body of a bacterial flagellum is surprisingly complex, especially in gram-negative bacteria, where it consists of 4 distinct rings embedded in various layers of the cell envelope. This motor, unlike its eukaryotic counterpart, is powered by the proton motive force, a gradient of protons across the membrane, rather than direct ATP hydrolysis. Furthermore, bacterial flagella are key to a process called chemotaxis, allowing bacteria to sense chemical gradients and adjust their movement, either running smoothly towards attractants or tumbling randomly to reorient to navigate their environment effectively. This table summarizes the key differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic flagella. Alright, it's time for some challenging questions to solidify your understanding. Question 1. Explain the sliding microtubule model for eukaryotic flagella movement, mentioning the role of dynein. Question 2. What is the specific 9+2 arrangement and what does each number represent? Question 3. How does the energy source for prokaryotic flagella rotation differ from that of eukaryotic flagella bending? Question 4. Name 2 accessory proteins found in the eukaryotic axoneme and their functions. Question 5. Describe the structure of a bacterial flagellar basal body in gram-negative bacteria. Question 6. What is chemotaxis and how do bacterial flagella facilitate it? And question 7. Why are Nexen links important in eukaryotic flagella movement? Good luck! Welcome to the hardest level, where we'll delve into the cutting-edge aspects of flagella. We'll explore their evolutionary history, intricate assembly processes, clinical relevance, and even their potential in biotechnology. Prepare for some advanced insights. The evolutionary story of flagella is a fascinating tale of convergent evolution. Despite performing similar functions, prokaryotic and eukaryotic flagella evolved entirely independently. The bacterial flagellum is thought to have evolved from a simpler protein secretion system, a molecular syringe. In contrast, the eukaryotic flagellum, often considered synonymous with cilia due to their shared 9+2 axoneme, likely emerged from the cell's internal cytoskeletal machinery. This means they are analogous structures, serving similar purposes, but not homologous, as they do not share a common evolutionary ancestor in their current forms. This independent evolution highlights the fundamental importance of motility. The biogenesis and molecular machinery of eukaryotic flagella are incredibly sophisticated. Assembly and maintenance are orchestrated by a process called intraflagellar transport, or IFT. This involves motor proteins, chysin and dynein, transporting building blocks like tubulin along the length of the flagellum, from base to tip and back. Beyond tubulin and dynein, a complex array of regulatory proteins, including nexin, radial spoke proteins, and central sheath components, ensure the precise assembly and coordinated function of the axoneme. The specific isoforms of dynein and their ATP-dependent activity dictate the exact bending patterns and speeds, allowing for diverse cellular movements. Prokaryotic flagellar biogenesis is equally remarkable. Unlike eukaryotic flagella, bacterial flagella grow from the tip. Flagellin monomers are synthesized in the cytoplasm, then transported through the hollow core of the growing filament to the distal end, where they self-assemble. The arrangement of flagella on a bacterial cell can vary, leading to different classifications: monotrichous with a single flagellum, lophotrichous with a tuft, amphitrichous with flagella at both poles, and peritrichous with flagella covering the entire surface. These arrangements, combined with sophisticated chemotaxis mechanisms involving chemoreceptors and motor switching, enable bacteria to navigate complex chemical landscapes with incredible precision, moving towards nutrients and away from harmful substances. The implications of flagellar biology extend into clinical medicine and even engineering. Genetic defects affecting the 9+2 axoneme can lead to primary ciliary dyskinesia, or PCD, a disorder causing chronic respiratory issues, infertility, and sometimes organ reversal. Bacterial flagella are also critical virulence factors, allowing pathogens to move, adhere, and invade hosts, making them potential targets for new antimicrobial drugs. Looking ahead, the elegance of flagellar design inspires biotechnological applications, from creating nanobots for targeted drug delivery to designing advanced biosensors, leveraging their inherent motility and precise control at the nanoscale. The study of flagella continues to unlock profound insights into life's fundamental processes. Now for the ultimate challenge. Here are the first 5 questions to test your competitive depth on flagella. Question 1. Discuss the concept of convergent evolution as it applies to prokaryotic and eukaryotic flagella. Question 2. Explain the role of intraflagellar transport, IFT, in the biogenesis and maintenance of eukaryotic flagella, naming the key motor proteins involved. Question 3. Differentiate between the 4 main types of bacterial flagellar arrangements based on their distribution on the cell surface. Question 4. How do bacterial chemoreceptors and flagellar motor switching contribute to effective chemotaxis? Question 5. Describe primary ciliary dyskinesia, PCD, linking it to defects in flagellar ciliary structure and function. Take your time to articulate comprehensive answers. Let's continue with the remaining 5 challenging questions. Question 6. In what ways are bacterial flagella considered virulence factors, and why are they potential drug targets? Question 7. Beyond tubulin and dynein, name and describe the function of 2 other accessory proteins critical to the eukaryotic axoneme's stability and movement. Question 8. Compare and contrast the biogenesis mechanisms of prokaryotic and eukaryotic flagella. Question 9. How do flagella inspire biotechnological applications, providing specific examples? And question 10. Elaborate on the differences in the basal body structure and energy source for movement between gram-negative bacterial flagella and eukaryotic flagella. Push your limits. And that brings us to the end of our comprehensive session on flagella, a truly intricate and vital component of cellular life. I hope you've gained a deeper understanding, from the basic whip-like motion to the complex molecular machinery and evolutionary insights. For more such in-depth educational content, practice questions, and expert-led lessons across all NEET subjects, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and to continue your journey towards NEET success. Keep learning, keep exploring, and stay curious. See you in the next session.